The destruction of the Space Shuttle Columbia shocked and devastated the entire world. But what do we know about the crew's final words? The 2003 Columbia disaster was the last space-related catastrophe of its type. Unlike the 1986 Challenger disaster, Columbia's 7-person crew made it to space just fine. The crew consisted of David M. Brown, Rick D. Husband, Laurel B. Clark, Kalpana Chawla, Michael P. Anderson, William C. Willie McCool, and Ilan Ramon. Their research-based mission was a success to begin with, and they were a mere 16 minutes away from touching down on Earth when their shuttle tore apart. Those on board almost certainly died on the way to the ground.
Oh my goodness. That's unprecedented. That's not good.
During liftoff, a piece of the shuttle's insulation foam had broken off and struck its left wing. NASA told the crew not to worry, but then the wing ripped off during re-entry. 5 years later, NASA released a comprehensive 400-page report from the investigation into the tragedy, outlining 30 safety and procedural recommendations for future missions. Just 3 years after that, NASA retired its shuttle fleet. Out of all of the Columbia's crew members, Commander Husband was the only one involved in any kind of final conversation with NASA. In response to a call from Mission Control about odd thermal readings on the shuttle, Husband's last words were either Roger, or Roger, buh, before communications went dark. Beyond this, we have video footage of Columbia's last routine check before attempting re-entry. And perhaps most importantly, we have messages that crew members logged during their mission, often describing the majesty of space and the immensity of being there. Unfortunately, the sudden and violent nature of Columbia's destruction means that this is more or less all we have to go on. Any actual last words spoken by the crew will forever remain unknown. We have a much better idea about the minutes leading up to the disaster, however. Like any other spacecraft, the Columbia had to conduct a series of nominal entry preparation tasks before heading back to Earth. At 500,000 feet above the Pacific Ocean, the crew members check their clipboards, review instruments, put on gloves, and so forth. They converse amongst themselves for about 13 minutes before the audio and video feed cuts out. Willie McCool, Kalpana Chawla, Rick Husband, and Laurel Clark are seen in the video, which is the last time anyone on Earth ever saw them. Sometime after the video ended, and 23 minutes before Columbia was supposed to touch down, staff at NASA began to notice odd thermal readings coming from the spacecraft. Maintenance Mechanical Arm and Crew Systems Officer Jeff Kling, Entry Flight Director Leroy Kane, and others contacted Columbia to get more information. As a transcript of this conversation shows, Husband calmly states, "We're checking that. We've got the flight controller power on. We're working through the rest of it as well. Thanks." After a couple more exchanges, NASA points out that the Columbia looks like it's lost pressure in both of its tires. To this, Husband merely replies, "And Houston, Roger, but," before dropping out. That's the last anyone heard from Columbia. Earlier than this, Columbia's crew had enshrined their experiences in messages they wrote while in space. In her final email to her family, Lauren Clark talked about everyday things like eating in space, her worsening eyesight, and in her words, doing science round the clock. She also wrote, "I've seen some incredible sights. Lightning spreading over the Pacific, the aurora australis lighting up the entire visible horizon with the city glow of Australia below, the crescent moon setting over the limb of the Earth, the vast plains of Africa and the dunes on Cape Horn, rivers breaking through tall mountain passes, the scars of humanity." Writer Marianne Dyson later compiled numerous quotes from crew members before and during their mission, as well as statements from family members and friends. Willie McCool, for instance, wrote from orbit, "Colors are stunning. In a single view, I see, looking out at the edge of the Earth, red at the horizon line, blending to orange and yellow, followed by a thin white line." And David Brown wrote, "If I'd been born in space, I would desire to visit the beautiful Earth more than to visit space. It's a wonderful planet."